Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Scorpio. If Scorpio is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, Scorpio, let's get started. And so tonight we have that beautiful, what is it called? The Lust card. We have Lust, also the Strength card, okay? One of my favorite cards. It's beautiful. The artwork is gorgeous. Let me put it up here. We have Babylon, the Scarlet Lady riding on the beast. And of course, this is the Thoth deck, so we know. Very central figure to Thelema. And the creator of the deck, actually, not the artist, but the creator, Aleister Crowley, right? Okay, so it's a beautiful card. It's all about power. It's all about reclaiming that fiery, creative energy. This is like if you were getting really into like yogic work, tantric work, what was I gonna say? Kundalini, right? Learning to kind of harness those energies and just fully activating yourself through them. Okay, so this is a wonderful, wonderful, powerful energy. And really, this video is coming out on a Monday morning, at least here it'll be Monday morning, and the perfect energy for a moon day. Yeah, I know, we're all usually pretty sluggish, but let's see how the tea leaves are going to interact with this wonderful energy. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. And more than that, I want to stop and say thank you for deciding to click on the reading, checking this thing out. You may have never seen a tea leaf reading before, so thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you are returning, welcome back. I'm glad to see ya. All right, let's see what's going on here. So my chair is just, excuse me, I gotta make some noise over here. I was up a little too close there. Okay, so we have 3 people right down here. And I just get this real energy of the triple mother or the 3 mothers, the 3 sisters. Right? This is a motif that you see a lot in fairy tales and old folklore. A lot of times dealing with kind of more natural gods or goddesses, goddesses of the stars, of the sky, of the mountains, waterways, right? A lot of different cultures, depending on which, right, they attribute these natural elements to different kinds of, now they might be goddess, they might be something like I'm trying to think, something like a Orishi or whatever. I'm trying to think. I was thinking Sibyls, but those are priestesses. So anyways, we have the 3 goddesses. We have basically these 3 very different, the 3 graces. That's the other one I was thinking of. We have these very distinct and separate identities, okay? But they all come together for a common cause. And if they come together to get something done, it gets done, right? And so I really feel like we have 1, 2, 3. In the middle, very much kind of that feminine, like a yoni, basically. We can see the shape right here. Very sacred, primordial goddess shape, right? We can all kind of envision what we're talking about here. If you are not aware of the primordial goddesses in the shapes of their amulets and their votive statues and things, go and just type it up in the Googles or whatever you use, and kind of look and see. Now, not exactly, it's not always the details, but it's in the formation, the general form. So this is a very productive symbol. This is one of fertility, of procreation. But it doesn't always have to be about creating other human beings, right? This could be, right, like your creative endeavors, your business, your career, whatever it is, your household. You are creating, you're producing, you are in a mode of, I kind of think of it as, and I think this is kind of real mom energy. Maybe I'm just a little skewed because I am in like supreme mom era, right? I'm a young child, so I'm momming it up all the time. But really, this kind of energy of coming in, if you could imagine walking into a room, it's a disaster. The kids have messes everywhere. People have just been stacking stuff up and throwing things down, and their toys, they're stuck in the couch, they're, in the refrigerator, they're all over the house. And you come in and you immediately start kind of picking up. Now, I'm not trying to push gender roles here, not at all, but it is this kind of instinctual thing that we have as parents in general. But I am reading from the point of view of a mother, so here we are. And coming in and just starting to pick things up, but also arranging things in a pleasant way, in a way that makes you feel like, okay, I can breathe in here again. Now, we might just think of this as, we're just really good at cleaning or keeping the house organized or as orderly as we possibly can. If you have, kids and animals and, whatever in the house, of course it's going to be chaotic sometimes. But it's not just about this is aesthetically pleasing or it's creating a little more space to kind of walk around and sit down and all that. You are creating pathways of energy flowing through the space in which you are realigning. I know, it might seem like, wow, that's a really stylized way of looking at it, but it's true. We don't like going into a jammed up room because it is stagnant with old energy. It is trapped in there. And if you can feel it, right? Have you ever walked into like a room that's dark, the drapes are pulled, it's dusty, there's piles of stuff, it's just almost kind of like a hoarding situation, possibly, or just a really kind of messy house that nobody has kind of done anything with for not days. I'm talking months and years. And you walk in there and you can feel that energy has been stuck for a long time. And for me, I'm that annoying person when I go to like somebody's house. I'll start opening windows and stuff. Not because it stinks, but I feel the energy clogged up in there, And so I'm looking at this and I'm feeling like there is this real impulse in your life right now to get things as close as you can to a clean canvas, right? We're not going to be able to kind of dump everything. I mean, you might be somebody that can do that. And that is, that's a big effort just to start over again from square one, right? But I feel you really, really deciding for yourself this year, this 2025 that we are looking into. We've stepped in, right? Our foot's in there in the doorway. We're going in if we want to or not, right? But this is all about creating that space, that environment, that foundation so that you can start creating the life that you want. Now, you might have the life that you need, and maybe, most of your necessities are being covered. But now it's about, what do you want? What are you envisioning for yourself? And are you going to get it? Well, we have the three sisters. We have the three mothers. We have this triple, faded trifecta here. And I feel like there's no better sign of power, of coming into a place of, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it. It will get done. And that's the energy I feel from you, Scorpio. I don't know how, but I will. And that should be our mantra for the year, right? I don't know how, but I will. But I will. But I will. And you say that to yourself over and over and over until you can't even stand it anymore. And then you keep pushing, right? And so we also have up here this very interesting, it looks like a person, their body, this is like kind of the torso, here's their arm, here's the head, and looking out over. Now we also have, it looks like a person in prayer. We have a person here, you can see the body right here, here's the head, arm extended, holding something out. And I'm seeing this as an offering, right? This person over here, I can see holding an orb right here. We also have a person, and this one's really beautiful. If we get real close here, you can see we have a person right here. Here's the head. Here's the body. Their hair is kind of flying back this way. Okay, here kind of in a kneeling position. And then we have a person here who's also in a kneeling position, and they are taking some kind of sacrament. Okay, being given, whatever it is, the Eucharist, that's the only one I can really think of by name. But yes, being given some kind of sacrament, being anointed, being, given the blessing, whatever that is exactly. But I see this as kind of like a cycle of spiritual work. Okay, not just like I'm reading a book and I'm thinking, oh, this might be good for me. I'm going to take in some of these ideas, whatever. All of that is good and well, but we have to put it into action. And I see you really putting this into action this next year. Okay, you are cleaning out your life. And I would say you're doing it almost kind of brutally. Now, that might sound negative. It is not. Sometimes we must be brutal in our lives. Not malicious, not predatory, but we do. Sometimes we need that resolve, and we need no other input. This is what I'm doing. I made this decision, and it's done. If you could think of, I think maybe one of the best examples is getting a divorce, right? Sometimes you just come to that point where you've been back and forth enough. You're done with it. You're not getting talked back into staying, or you're not talking yourself back into staying. You are done. And it is time to say, I am leaving. Nothing you can say, nothing you can do. I'm done. And sometimes you have to take that posture. You have to be brutal. Cut and dry. Done. Finished. And I feel like that is just, you're in this mode. I'm done with it all. Anything that is not serving my higher purpose has to go. We're locked in this year. We're working towards that thing. And I see you really leaning into the spiritual work. Now, it might be overtly spiritual. You might be going down the path of, magic, the occult, divination. But I think even more than that, it's about the self-work, the self-development, building yourself up in those places where you have maybe felt like you're lacking. And for Scorpio, and I'm just going to say this straight up, you all are so creative, so passionate, so fiery, but you're your own worst enemies. And that's it. There's nobody that could take down a Scorpio except for yourself, really. And a lot of that comes from your thinking, the way that you're talking to yourself. When you question that, like, intuition that you have, that gut feeling, and you think, well, maybe it's not really that. Maybe I'm just kind of reading into it, or I don't know. No. You know. Or when you get into that thinking of, I've never really done much of this. I'm not sure if I'll be good at it. I don't really know if I should try. I've been working towards trying to get this raise, but I don't think that I'm exactly right for, the picking right now. They probably aren't going to advance me, or no, go for it. And so I see this becoming your year. I mean, really. We also have this person up here, and I'm going to turn it this way. And to me, as I'm looking at it, it looks like a person yelling at the TV. If you can remember back in the day when we had those little TVs on stands, that's what it reminds me of. But yelling at the TV. And this one immediately super resonates with me as well. And a lot of it, I think, is just about not getting sidetracked, distracted by outer things. Now, I'm not saying ignore the world, but do not get sucked into the happenings of the world, especially those things that you don't know are true. Well, who knows, right? They don't affect your life directly. And it's sensational. That's the big thing. We know if it is something that immediately makes you, I'm worried, it's targeted to do so. And it's easy to get sucked into that rabbit hole. It's easy to spend our days watching, and I'm sorry, but it's the news, right? I mean, it could be any social media stuff, but the news. And that's what I see here, is just this fever pitch of just chaotic emotion, of fear. And that's what it is. It's just this thing that creates fear. Now, I read the news here and there. I watch the news, mostly the weather. I live on the tundra, so I'm always watching the weather. And I understand it. I like to get into the news too sometimes, right? But I also lose a lot of time getting worried about things that I have no idea about. And I know that's a privileged place to be. The ability to ignore what's going on in the world. But it's hard to know anymore. It's hard to know. And so I really do think it's okay sometimes in our life to take a break from all that stuff. Now, it doesn't have to just be like global news or, national news or domestic, or not domestic, local news, any of these newses, right? This could also be on social medias. Oh, the gossip. I don't know about you, but where I live, there are, like local groups and stuff. There are moms groups, there are, all kinds of different things. But if you get in there and you start to like get down the rabbit hole of people fighting and talking about each other and, all of this, It absolutely sucks your time. And it gets you feeling that energy. I mean, it really, you get stuck in a mode of just muck. It is. It's like trying to walk through the dang old swamp or like a mudded area, and your shoes keep getting sucked off. Every time you pull your foot up, it's getting sucked in there. And you just can't, you're feeling like, how do I get out of this? I'm sinking here. Avoid it. I'm not saying for the whole year, but do it for a day. Try it for a day. Try it for 2 days. Maybe a week. See where you get. See what that time gives you. Because you have so much strength right now. I mean, and we have, again, the triple, right up here, you can see. And up here we have a wrench. We have a wrench. So I do feel like it's just a reiteration of this, like, fixing things up, right? We also have the name Ian right here. I-A-N, Ian. And also, I was looking at this, and to me, it looks like it says court. C-O-U. The R would be over here, and a T, court. So I'm wondering if this is like Courtney. If you know an Ian and Courtney, shout it out. I want to hear about it. But I'm thinking it could be legal issues. Somebody with legal issues. I don't think that this is necessarily your legal issue, so I don't want to freak you out. But I do feel like there's something to do with and it could be marriage even. Because as I turn that and I'm talking about it, we have two people right here. And you can see hand in hand. And then we have a heart right here. We also have a phone. So I'm wondering if you're going to get like a phone call. Like, hey, we got married. Or, where the wedding is whenever. So look for that. We also have the number 5 over here. The number 5. Okay, so let's go over here. And thank you so much for putting up with this voice. My goodness. I thought I was getting better. Like, it's just been the gauntlet. We had norovirus a while, I don't know, a month ago. Then whatever respiratory thing is going, like one of them. And now I started to feel good for like 3 days. And then immediately sick again. We're always at these like little kids events. They're so germy. Preschool, kindergarten, first grade, all these kids were around constantly for my daughter's events and stuff, classes. And I pick up so many of the things. And I know, I've seen on my husband, shout out to my husband over at Dove and Serpent Tarot, a lot of you giving great advice and remedies and things. And I appreciate that because I've tried out many of them. Last year, if you have been on the channel for very long, you might remember we were pretty sick throughout the early, like January, February, March. Constantly, we just were getting sick. And I'm hoping that this year it's not as not as bad. We were moving during that time, so it was a lot of stress. And I'm hoping that that's just, what was keeping us sick. And that we're not going to do a redo. We'll see, knock on wood. But I appreciate everybody putting up with our voices. And also I had a sound issue. That I hopefully got resolved today. Thank you for all of you who said something about it in some of the other readings. Okay, so we have a rabbit that is kind of jumping, leaping over this dang thing here. We have a fish. We have the number 310. So it feels to me like there is a father figure in your life, not your father figure, but somebody who feels like a father figure. I'm almost wondering if it's like a single dad. The kids might be older. They don't have to be like still raising young kids, but almost feels like, and I'm saying this because we have the seahorse here and we have the number 1 next to it. So I'm feeling like this is a single father who is in your life. And I almost wonder if this is like your brother or like a cousin or somebody you're close to that feels like a brother. We have the birds singing. We have that rabbit. And the hook. It's just the hook, the hook, the hook. So I almost feel like there's something going on here where it's like they're trying to make more money. There's this feeling of like, I gotta make more money. I gotta get into this thing. I met this person, whatever. But it seems scammy. Like there's something going on where it's like you're seeing it and you're thinking, this doesn't seem legit. But they're excited about it because it seems like something that, is going to turn into a business for them. And for you, I feel like you're just trying to like, hey, listen, this is not legitimate, right? You have to be careful. Don't invest any money into this. But I feel like maybe they already have, or it's like they're just putting so much of their time into it, or I don't know. The rabbit, though, it's just like this almost compulsive, repetitive feeling of like going over and over and over the same thing. And I feel like for you, it's like, why aren't you seeing this for what it is, right? And I feel like it almost is kind of this thing where you feel like giving up. You feel like giving up and like you can't get through to them. Like I'm almost wondering if this is not the first time, right? And I keep thinking, is this like an MLM kind of deal or something, something like that, where it's like they're in some kind of like pyramid scheme thing and they've done it before. They've like already, been down this road and you've been down it with them and you've run out of ideas. Like, how do I get through to they're never going to listen to me. And so I feel like there is a certain amount of frustration, but I don't know. I almost feel like you have to, you have to stay persistent here. But I think that, this is something part of what maybe is adding to your desire to kind of clear out your life and, start towards a direction that is meaningful for you, that feels, like a worthy path. Okay. And that makes sense. Sometimes it does. It takes people in our lives to have their own failures for us to learn some lessons as well. Right. And so, I think this is kind of that energy. All right, let's see. Number 70. 70. 88. Number 88. 82. All right, 70, 80, 82. All right, beautiful. Okay, now we're going to do our self-care affirmation cards. I'm just going to flip through, stop where it feels right. And it says, wind of spirit. I breathe deeply as I inhale and exhale. My body is refreshed. My breath is always present to calm me like a wind of the spirit. I am connected to the source of life. I am vividly alive. I am vividly alive. Beautiful. All right, Scorpio, thank you for getting through this thing with me. I know, I just feel like my voice is wild, and you know, I've been taking those Mucinex things or whatever. I don't know, it makes me feel a little goofy, but yeah, we're getting better. We're getting better. And I appreciate you all. I really do. I feel so bad that, you know, in the readings, we sound so, and I know my husband, poor guy, by the time he's done doing his readings, his voice is out. And I know everybody's like, oh, you guys need to take a break and stuff. Listen, I tell that guy constantly, take a day off. Babe, come on, let's just go. Come on, just get back in bed. Let's, you know, we need to rest a little bit today. And, you know, he's dedicated to his craft. What can I say? But I do appreciate all of you for, you know, sticking with us, supporting us, and cheering us on. All right. What else? I think that's it. Scorpio, I love you. If you want to like, subscribe, leave a comment, I'd love to hear from you. Please take care of yourself. Wash your hands. Wash your hands, wash your hands. Whatever else works, do it. Try to stay away from these germs. They're wild this year. I swear it. All right. I love you. Take care of yourself. We're going to talk in a few days. Good night, good night, good night.